This video is sponsored by Squarespace. So recently I did a Q&A on a channel, and a lot of questions were about how do I define my style, if I have any tips to help you understanding photography styles or photographic style, what that is and how you can achieve it. And I do have to say I'm not here to teach anything or to profess anything. I'm here to solely talk about my experience, some of the things that I've learned, and hopefully give some advice as well. And I'd like you, watching this video, if you have any advice, any things I'd like to add to this video, please do it so down below. And so, without further ado, I'm gonna start with a very simple question, which is, what is style? And I guess for majority of people, style is a group of characteristics that define something or someone's work. And we've seen this with the various artists that we featured here on the channel, such as Van Ho with his incredible portraits of loneliness and game of light and shadows. We've seen this with William Eggleston and his colorful moments in time, and recently with Elliot Erwitt and his light-hearted photographic moments. But in essence, style is not something just visible to our eyes. Style is not just visual, but also, and more importantly, something connected with our interpretation of things. Something connecting with the psychological side of a photo, which in this case can be the feelings, ideas, or themes that it transmits. And now that we've established what style is, why don't we take a step back and talk about a word that we always pair with style, especially when discussing someone else's work: originality. And I want to touch this subject because there is a lot of pressure for us youngsters or people that are really trying to create meaningful work to be original. But what does that even mean, to be original? And I think that in today's world, where everything has more or less been seen, touched, created from a creative perspective, there is this idea that we need to improve upon that we need to be the next Saul Leiter or Vivian Maier, when the truth is that we need to take an humble approach and realize that we're not going to be the next Saul Leiter, we're not going to be the next Diane Harbers or the next Joel Meyerowitz. We're going to be the only thing we can be, which is ourselves. And this so-called need for originality is indeed something that is true, that exists. However, it won't come from someone else's work. It won't come from any of our inspirations or influences. It will come from within us, who we are, what we've experienced, and what we have lived, and how we have lived things, and how we have processed reality. Which leads me to something else that I want to talk about or discuss, which is the idea of themes. And to find themes that we connect to, we have to discuss the idea of self-search. When I first started taking photos, I was all over the place. I tried so many things, from street photos to portraits to traveling snaps, until I came across a few photos that spoke to me. Very few moments in time that, even whilst I was capturing them, they spoke to me. I felt an immediate connection to my subject and the photo itself, and I knew I had, there and then, the beginning of something. So in essence, you're not going to wake up one day and know exactly what to capture, how to capture, and boom, that is your style. Style, I like to say, is a construction in time. Because style evolves with you, just like you grow up and you process new things, new experiences in your life, and you just change naturally as you age. And that is very important to realize. And if we look back in history, we know that a lot of artists have talked about throughout their careers how their art or how their photos, books, whatever they did in a more professional standard or a less professional standard as a hobby or whatever, how they reflect their experiences, their ideas, their feelings, and how they see the world. And this is where your originality will come from, because it'll come from your unique way of seeing the world that is different to mine and everyone else's watching this video. And so I would say that to find these ideas and themes, I did something which is called like a self-search or a soul search, and it took me ages. It's not something that you'll do one day and it'll be done and it's then and there. It's something that takes time, and this is why you need to put time and effort into the things that you really are drawn to and the things that you really are passionate about. And in this case, if you're watching this video, you're passionate about photography, and I think you need to put that time and effort into capturing or into to really investing in knowing what you really want. And it might take 1 year, might take 3, might take a whole life, and that is okay. And we interrupt this video briefly to talk about our sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is an online platform where you can create your own website, a portfolio, set up your own online store, and design it all yourself using all the different templates, or even kickstart your own blog by sharing your ideas or pearls from your photo archive. It's really simple to set up, and you can do it all yourself in no time. And should you run into a roadblock, the 24/7 customer service can provide you with the answers you need. So head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and before you sign up, go to squarespace.com/thopper and you can use the code thopper for 10% off your first purchase. And now let's go back to our video. And for me, those earlier photos made me realize that some of the themes or ideas that I'm mostly drawn to are loneliness, contemplation, existentialism, and dreams. And this is part of my personality, part of my experiences, and how I feel and see the world around me. And these are themes that I keep exploring and I keep in mind when photographing or hunting for those moments in time. It's what I call the power of intention. And intention can lead us extremely far, especially in the field of the arts, because intention can lead to meaning. However, this doesn't mean that every photo should be a work of art. Every photo holds its own value and meaning, and it's up to your eyes and mind to decide what that might be. And still today, I photograph sites and people that I wouldn't necessarily include in my body of work. I take snaps here and there that aren't necessarily meaningful, but I believe that every photo is an opportunity to grow more experienced and more aware of my reality and my surroundings. And if you remember a moment ago, I said that intention can lead to meaning. But what does that even mean? Well, for once, according to Merriam-Webster, intention is what one intends to do or bring about, and meaning is the idea that is expressed in a work of writing, art, etc. An intention, in my opinion, will be in the basis of meaning, because when you go out to photograph and you have a purpose that you know you're looking for expressed in reality, most of the time something will catch your eye. And it might not be an astounding photo, it might just be someone over a rooftop or someone walking down a street, but the intention was there. And a practice of this, finding themes and ideas that you relate to and actively look for them or create environments where they can be translated, will help you create a work with intention, with purpose, or a meaning. The process of finding these ideas, these things that we connect to, it can be extremely hard, and sometimes we can find ourselves at loss of how to express our ideas, how to pass a mood, a feeling such as loneliness, such as, happiness. And how do we do that, especially if we have to go around creating the scene ourselves or looking for it, but we can't find it? And I think it's very important here to fit the idea of seeking inspiration. And seeking inspiration is vital to anyone who is trying to create something, I would say, especially because inspiration can be good not just for our eyes and see how we can learn about composition, angles, express ideas through colors, etc., but also in a way motivational for us to pick up a camera, a brush, a pen and go and do it. And in my case, I found the work of Edward Hopper incredibly inspiring, and I can definitely see how it has helped me learn about framing a subject, translate ideas of existentialism and loneliness. And two other artists that I would like to quote as very inspirational for me is photographer Saul Leiter, from whose photos I've learned about texture, composition, resilience, and to be versatile. And last but not least, filmmaker Andrei Tarkovsky, whose work has forever casted a great impression on me, especially due to the construction and pace of his movies, which touch themes and ideas that I relate to. And so what I want to do here is not compare myself to others, but to draw from others information or lessons at all levels, creative, professional, personal, that can, at the end of the day, improve something within myself and my work. It's not about being better or worse, but to take these names I mention and look at their work and think that this motivates me to keep pushing forward and producing more of my own work. However, it's easy to get confused and lost when we are suddenly hit with so many ideas and influences, and in order to find or work on our style, we need to stay true to ourselves, to who we are and what is part of our core. And core here is a key word, because with so much going on in the world, so many things we see or scroll by every day, we're drawn to do impulsive things that sometimes are not part of our essence as photographers. Buy equipment that we think we need, or copy someone because their photos are adored and admired by everyone and have a strong social media presence. And this is a trap that we don't want to fall into, a trap that makes us shop for dreams that aren't ours, that makes us want to buy equipment that really isn't for us, or shoot pictures of things that really we don't relate to. So today, more than ever, it's important to preserve our core of who we are, because at the end of the day, your style is also constantly evolving. And with style, it's not so much a finders keepers. I guess it's something that you might find and you might not keep, because style is something that is constantly evolving, just like you. And if I look back in time and I see how much I've grown and matured over the years, and I sort of have a sense that my style really tweaked here and there, and I found new compositions and new things I want to include, and I tried different things to do and I really didn't like it, or I liked it and I kept it. And I think it's important to do that, and it's important to keep this idea of like themes that we love, self-search, constant putting time and effort into it, and honestly just stay true to yourself. Very, very important. And I feel that when I practice this and I go out photographing and I just improvise a shoot or something, I feel closer to who I am or a step closer to who I am as a photographer or an artist, if that makes sense. And I think that's very important, but also very important, I still remain humble, or I have the necessary humbleness to realize that there's a lot more to come for. There's a lot more to go through, and definitely a lot more changes to happen, and it's okay. And if I never get to be in that place where I know exactly what it is, where I know exactly what I am, if that makes sense, it's okay. And if I am 99 and I'm still out in the streets photographing, that will not only mean that I'm an awesome old lady, but it'll also mean that I've grown and enough to realize that failure and restarting, it's part of the process, and it's okay. And it's okay to take your time, and there's no rush at all to be there producing works of art. And when we look at photographers' work and we see like a lot of really, really great photos, we have to realize that they produce that over the course of their careers, not in just a year, not in just like 6 months and 2 rolls, It takes time. It takes really experiencing the world, and it takes a lot of things to do that. And honestly, I hope that this video isn't discouraging or isn't in any way. I really hope that this video is helpful, has given you tips. Honestly, I've based this on my experience and my experience only. I'm not here to teach you anything. I'm just here to sort of like talk about my journey, talk about my style, and also hopefully provide you some insight as to what I've discovered over time, and hopefully that will help you. And so yeah, thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Thank you for watching this video. And I guess that my links to my work will be down below. Don't forget to share, subscribe, do all that jazz. And I'll see you here for another video very soon. So stay safe, keep shooting film. Peace.